Ford introduced a new program today aimed at eliminating one of the main pain points for customers transitioning from a combustion vehicle to an electric vehicle. This program is called Ford's Power Promise, and it has the potential to really move the needle with regards to Ford's electric vehicle program. Let's get into it. If you're a follower of State of Charge, you've probably seen a video that I put out earlier this year that was titled "Free EV Charging Sucks." I did that video because I was getting frustrated by all of the free public DC fast charging programs that manufacturers were offering to incentivize the purchase or lease of their vehicle. Sounds great on paper. Lease our car and get 3 years of free charging on the Electrify America network or 2 years of free charging. So that's a great carrot to get people to say, well, maybe I'll try this electric vehicle because, you know, I don't have to pay for fuel for 3 years. Wow, that's fantastic. But the devil's always in the details. And what we found was that these free charging programs were clogging up the few DC fast charging locations that were installed. People that didn't need to use public charging, that could charge at home very easily, chose not to because, hey, we got free charging. Why am I going to pay for it at home if I can get it free there? The problem with this was there wasn't enough DC fast charging locations. So the people that actually needed to use them, that were on long road trips, or maybe they don't have a charger at home, they live in an apartment building and they got an electric vehicle, they didn't have access to them because they're always being taken and blocked by cars that people live a couple miles away and they could be charging at home, but hey, I got my free charging, so I'm going to come here once a week like a gas station and fill up and then drive until it's empty, then come back, wait an hour and a half till it's 100% charged and leave again. This is not really how we should be using public DC fast charging. We don't have it there to replicate the gasoline model, which is really what people were using it for. And I was very vocal about that. And every opportunity I had to talk to some of the manufacturers, when I go on press drives, there's usually representatives from the company that you could talk to about various topics. I always made it a point to say, can you guys please stop with this free EV charging? And they listened to me and we had dialogue and discussions on it. And since I put out that video, I've actually had 4 or 5 OEMs reach out to me and say, listen, we'd like to have a conversation about this. What else should we be doing in this space? And I always say, please incentivize home charging. Don't incentivize public charging. Home charging is the most convenient, least expensive, and just best way to charge your electric vehicle. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to wait in your car. You come home, you plug it in, you go inside the house, you live your life. You eat dinner, you sleep. The car is fully charged every morning that you wake up. It's like as if you had a gas car, in the middle of the night, the car would wake up and drive to a gas station, fill itself up and come back and park and be all ready for you. There's just so many advantages to home charging. It was very frustrating that companies wouldn't incentivize home charging. Well, very few did, at least. General Motors did for a while. They had a few home charging incentive programs where they would cover the cost of home charging equipment with a cap on it. And they did that for various General Motors vehicles. The program seemed to be on and off. I'm not sure exactly where it stands right now, but I don't think it's as prevalent as it was a couple of years ago. But now Ford's offering something very similar, actually better than what GM offered with this Ford Power Promise program. What they're going to do is give customers that purchase or lease new electric vehicles now, all their electric vehicles, Ford F-150 Lightning, Mustang Mach-E, E-Transit, all their fully electric vehicles. Ford Charge Station Pro charger like this guy right here, that retails for $1,310. It's an 80 amp bi-directional charger. It's a high-end unit. It's not just some little portable plug-in unit that usually comes with the cars. This is like top of the food chain for electric vehicle charging equipment. So they're going to give all their customers that get one of their new electric vehicles one of these. You could either take it home with you at the dealership or have it shipped to you later on. And they're also going to install it. Now it's not, you know, unlimited installation. Let me explain how this is going to work. But there isn't a dollar cap on the installation, which was very interesting to me. The General Motors program put a dollar cap on it and said, look, we'll pay up to this amount of money. Anything after that, the homeowner has to cover. Ford's program doesn't have a number where this is the most we'll spend on it, but they do have limitations. So the program calls for up to a 60 amp circuit. Now I said this is an 80 amp Ford Charge Station Pro, and a 60 amp circuit can only deliver up to 48 amps. So they're going to put this on a 60 amp circuit for you. If you want it on a 80 amp circuit or a 100 amp circuit, so this will deliver more power, you do pay the difference. So the maximum is a 60 amp circuit, and also the maximum amount of distance wire from your charger to your service panel is 80 feet. As long as you make those two qualifications. Oh, and there's one last thing. Your meter has to be in the same structure where your charger is. So if you have a detached garage and there's trenching involved, that's not covered. So if your meter is on the same structure as where your charger is going to be located, you agree to have a 60 amp circuit and you have no more than 80 feet of wire from your charger to your service panel, Ford will cover the entire cost of the installation. Even if it's a really difficult installation and it's expensive, it's covered. And this is being done through the Q-Merit network. If you follow my channel, you know Q-Merit is my sponsor here. They're the largest national chain of, actually network of electrical contractors that install EV charging equipment. Ford's used them before. Almost every major OEM right now uses Q-Merit as their official installer of electric vehicle charging equipment. They do it right, and the companies know that it's going to be done properly and installed right. The Q-Merit installer that's very experienced with electric vehicle charging equipment will do all the installations, but you can get a charger and installation completely complimentary. I mean, this is between the cost of the charger and the installation, looking at, minimum of $2,000 to $3,000, maybe $4,000 worth of free credit if you get any of Ford's electric vehicles. Fantastic carrot. That's what we want to see. Incentivize home charging. Now, Ford didn't just wake up one day and come up with the idea, and they probably didn't come up with it because I badgered them about doing this for quite some time now, so I can't take credit for that. They did a lot of research. I talked to Ford's communications managers, and they said, look, this isn't something we just thought up overnight. We did a lot of surveys. We talked to a lot of our customers, and still one of the main impediments to switching to an EV from combustion is the uncertainty about home charging equipment. And can my house support it? How much is it going to cost? Do I have the right electric? I hear that all the time. Tom, I can't put a high-powered charger in my garage because I don't have the right electric for it. So there's a lot of uncertainty, and people don't really understand how electric works, the average person at least. So this completely eliminates that, takes it completely off the table. Now you might say, well, Tom, you mentioned earlier about apartment dwellers. They can't install electric vehicle charging equipment. Or what if you already have a charger in your house? You don't need Ford to install this. Do you just lose out? No, you don't lose out. You'll get a $2,000 credit on the vehicle, which is something that I always said, if companies wanted to offer free charging and free public charging, please don't do it. Offer either home charging incentive or just give people cash on the hood. If you live in an apartment, you can't install a charger, just give them a nice fat discount on the vehicle up front. And I think that's the best way of dealing with incentivizing electric vehicles. We have too many people charging at public chargers today that shouldn't be there. And it's actually not even the fact that it's clogging up the DC fast chargers. That's one problem. The other problem is it provides a poor experience with your electric vehicle. It's replicating gas. It's going somewhere and waiting for the vehicle to refuel, where one of the great things about electric vehicles is charging at home is just so easy. You're not waiting at all. You just drive into your garage, plug the thing in, and walk away, and you're done. You don't even think about it. It's just filled the next time you get in it. But with forcing people to go to DC fast chargers, you're complicating the EV life. I'll never forget, and this only happened about 5 months ago. I guess it was in the spring of this year. I was at an Electrify America charging station doing a DC fast charge recording, and a guy pulls up in an Audi e-tron GT, beautiful smoking, top of the line, all the bells and whistles you can get. And I make it a point to talk to people when I'm at the DC fast chargers. And he was like, yeah, I just can't wait till this lease is up. He's got a 3-year lease. It was a 2022 Audi e-tron GT, beautiful. And I was like, really, what don't you like? And he's like, well, I wish I had a little bit more range, but that's really not a problem. The biggest problem is charging. He's like, it's such a pain in the ass to come here and wait. And sometimes I have to park and wait before I can plug in. He's like, I got this. It was great that they said it was 3-year free charging. For 3 years, you don't have to pay for any fuel. And, I had a big, I think had a Cadillac Escalade or something before he got this. Talk about a different vehicle. He's like, but I was used to paying like $80 a week for gas. And to me, I was like, oh my God, that's, $4,000 or $5,000 in savings just in fuel. This is great. I'll get this. So I started asking him. He's like, yeah, he has a garage, but he never bothered installing home charging equipment because he wasn't sure if he was going to like the EV. So he didn't do that. And well, he's got 3 years of free charging. Why should he put anything in his house? So the guy's been living at Electrify America charging stations since he got his e-tron, and it's 2 years in now. And every 4 or 5 days, he has to go there and sit there for like 40 minutes. So that's a terrible experience living with an EV, especially when you got a $125,000 car. You can install a home charger in your garage, even a low-powered one. If you plugged in every night, would have been fine. But the point of what I'm trying to make here is that automakers created that problem. They didn't mean to. It was unintended consequences of this free charging program. They got people replicating the gasoline model where, once a week or once every 5 or 6 days, you drive somewhere, you wait until your vehicle's refueled, and then you leave, and 4 days, 5 days later, you repeat the same thing. Electric vehicles don't have to work that way. It's much better if you could just plug in at home. So this program that Ford is saying, you know what? We want to incentivize home charging. We're going to give our customers the charger, and we're going to install it no matter what it costs, as long as the parameters are met under our program. Now, of course, there's going to be times where people have to pay some money out of pocket. If you have the extra capacity in your house to put in a 100-amp circuit, let's say, I would recommend paying for that extra upgrade from the 60-amp circuit to the 100-amp circuit so you can have the full 100 amps. Even if your EV today can't accept 100 or 80 amps, your next EV may be able to. So I would recommend you doing that. It shouldn't be that much extra. But what they're covering here with 80 feet of wire, 60 amp circuit, and the charger itself should cover most people's installations. There's going to be times where people need 120 feet of wire. My house, for instance, was over 100 feet of wire when I do my installation. So yeah, I'd be out of pocket a little bit for it. There's going to be people that want to trench to put their charger in their detached garage. That's kind of expensive, but you could always get your own local person to do that. I memean, you could even, if you got some teenage kids, give them a couple shovels, make them dig the proper depth trench to the garage, and then let Q-Merit come and run the conduit and everything, get it inspected and cover it back up. So there's ways to let's say, get the cost of trenching down, particularly if you got that free teenage labor. But this program's fantastic. Super happy that Ford is putting it out. I just wanted to have, this is kind of like a reaction video to the news. I think it's a great thing that's Ford's doing. As I mentioned, they're not the first company to incentivize home charging. General Motors has been doing it, but I just hope the other automakers see this and understand this is the way to go. Incentivize home charging. Don't give people these free unlimited public charging credits. It's not a good experience for them. And then you're creating a bad experience for the other drivers that actually need to use the chargers because they're on a road trip, but they're all being clogged up by people that live a couple miles away and they're getting all their free juice. This would be a great way if the entire industry goes this way. I'm already starting to see some movement. As I said, I talked to some of the executives in some of the other companies. I know a couple of companies, I don't want to mention names, are already thinking about changing their policy and offering either much shorter periods or doing home charging installation, which is really the right way to go. Please, if you are from one of the other OEMs, take a good look at what Ford did here. This is the right way to incentivize charging of your electric vehicles. Get people to charge at home. The people that can, at least. The people that can't, give them some cash on the hood, and that's the right way to go. You know, Ford's also doing a few other things to give confidence in their electric vehicles. They have a great warranty, 8-year, 100,000-mile battery warranty, which includes capacity loss. It's not just from defects. They also have a 24/7 helpline, which you do have to register on the Ford website to have access to it. And they also offer a 24/7 roadside assistance if by chance you are one of the people that miscalculated and run out of range. It doesn't happen often, but it happens, just like people run out of gasoline from time to time. So, you know, Ford's trying to create this ecosystem that is very EV friendly, helping people with their home charging installation, actually just taking it off the table. You don't have to worry about that. We'll give you the charger and we'll install it for you. Oh, and if you happen to run out, which won't happen, we'll come and tow you. Oh, if you have any questions, call our toll-free 24/7 hotline, and we give you a fantastic warranty on your battery, so you don't have to worry about that either. So good on Ford. That's pretty much all I have here today. I just wanted to talk about this announcement about the Ford Power Promise. I think it's a good direction to go in, and I hope other electric vehicle manufacturers follow this lead, like they did when Ford announced they were changing over to the NACS. Ford was the first company to say that we're going to be switching to NACS. Other companies did that too. Actually, all of the other companies soon followed suit. I'd love to see that happen with regards to home charging. I think it's the right direction to go in, so let's keep an eye open in this space, and hopefully we can incentivize home charging and get the people off the DC fast chargers that don't actually need to be there. Listen, if this is your first time here at State of Charge, please hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss any upcoming electric vehicle news and reviews. And as always, thanks for watching.